Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. This is Ishan Isaac with Ishan on air, and happy holidays to all of you because next week will be Christmas, and those of you who celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you in advance and Happy New Year in advance. Every Sunday, we bring you live updates in terms of what is actually happening all around us, not only in the US but also all over the world because it's very important that in this day and age of misinformation and disinformation, we get the record straight. We talk about facts and truthful information, and then also some political analysis. And it's not easy, but with all of you also participating, and then the other half of the program is actually in Urdu and Hindi. So a lot of people, they call in and share their opinions. But this program is not possible without our great advertisers, sponsors, because everything is expensive, as you know, in this day and age, and from our groceries to everyday items, and then obviously on-air time, and not only on traditional media, on radio, but also on social media. So we would like to thank Affordable Insurance of Texas, AITinsurance.com, where you can get your homeowners insurance, your commercial insurance, your auto insurance, and you name it, they got it, even health insurance. So 713-785-4000, they have different products and services. And if you are out of the state of Texas, because they have many locations in Texas, even in Houston and Greater Houston and other areas and other cities in Texas, AITinsurance.com is the website where you can connect with them if you're out of Texas. 713-785-4000. So again, we would like to thank our sponsor, AIT Insurance, Affordable Insurance of Texas. Avesta Houston, if you like Persian food and you love Middle Eastern cuisine, they say we provide authentic Middle Eastern and Persian cuisine. And that's Avesta Houston on Westhammer and Wilcrest. 713-781-5555 is their number. And AvestaHouston.com, as you can see on the screens. And obviously the holidays are upon us, and during this time people would love to wear different clothes, and even traditional clothes from different ethnicities. So I know a lot of people, they love our South Asian, Pakistani, Indian, Bangladeshi dresses, and it has made a lot of raves and waves, I would say, in terms of reviews. So men's shalwar kameez, they have a lot of variety. Kurta pajama, traditional dress, and they have a lot of varieties at Roop Sari. And then sherwani, that's another very formal dress. Hundreds of designs in sherwani. A lot of people, they get married during the holidays, especially in Asian, South Asian communities. So visit roopsari.com or just visit their location in Houston at Hillcroft, and you cannot miss Roop Sari Palace and their website, roopsari.com, for our social media viewers. And also Demasi's all-you-can-eat buffet. They have lots of varieties, from kebabs, chicken kebabs, even lamb shanks, and I love lamb shank, and they have the best lamb shank in town, and also all these different Mediterranean, I would say, Mediterranean items and dishes, but also the salads. They have very different kinds of salads, like Greek salad to taboulis and baba ganoush and hummus and all of that. So authentic Mediterranean cuisine at Demasi's restaurant. They have many locations in Houston, even outside of Houston. They are even in California, and in Houston, Greater Houston, they're even at Sugarland, Richmond, and there are so many other locations. So easy to locate their location by visiting demasis.com. That's DIMASSIS.com. So thank you to Demasis as well as one of our great advertisers and sponsors. And please support all of these advertisers and supporters. And if you would like to participate, then connect with me. So the first news obviously is still coming out of Syria, because any truth to the idea Israel might have a hand in this, meaning HTS, which stands for Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, which basically a liberation movement for Levant. Remember ISIL, they were also Islamic State for Levant, and then they changed their name ISIS, from ISIS to ISIL. And these are the same people actually who rebranded themselves from Al-Qaeda to ISIL, and now they're HTS. So make no mistake, And that's why the bounty on the head of this guy, which is very interesting as well. Sometimes they call him Muhammad al-Golani, and sometimes he becomes Ahmad al-Sharaf. So interesting thing, right? I also got confused. I was like, is this the same guy? Yeah, he is. And in fact, his bounty on his head is $10 million. So HTS is a banned terrorist organization by the State Department, by the US. But this organization is supported by Erdogan, president of Turkey, and they love them. And Turkey is obviously providing a lot of support to them. So this is Salafi jihadists. These are the people who basically use Islam, religion. I'll be very straight here because a lot of people, they obviously are giving bad name to Islam, and then they bring politics in religion, and then they say Sharia, which is very confusing in itself, because what kind of Sharia we are talking about? These are the religious laws where a new name for it is how to subjugate people under Sharia. That's basically the bottom line. And I'm a student of Islam. I'm a student of Christianity. I'm also a student of Judaism and even other comparative religions and comparative studies. And we live in one of the best countries in the world where we have definitely harmony. Sometimes, although it doesn't seem like it, but people, they openly share their views and opinions. And then they also respect other religions and faiths and people who maybe don't have any religion to practice, or they don't practice any religion. They are atheists, what have you. But this is United States of America, because when you're here, it doesn't matter where you have come from, but what it matters is where we are heading. So that's why it's so important that we communicate with each other. We may disagree, and sometimes it's best not to discuss politics and religion, but obviously I try to make things easier for people to understand. So that's HTS. Keep an eye on them. HTS runs border crossings with Turkey. So how are they getting money, right? How are they getting funding? But what is being reported here from Reuters as well, that the rebels, they set up toll booths. So remember, we have within Houston, I would say area, Sam Houston Tollway. We call it, there's this term in our city, Houston, if you belong to H-Town, that are you inside the loop or are you outside the loop? And then obviously this, now we have so many other toll ways as well. So they literally get a lot of money from these border crossings as well. And it's somewhere from $3 to $7 for each ton of goods and supplies, what have you. So they get that money. Then they were actually the ruling governance party, HTS, in Idlib, which is one of the cities as well. So they basically got some exposure to government. And this fellow, who basically his name is Al-Shara or Muhammad Al-Golani, now you figure that one out. When BBC interviewed him, he was very, I would say, diplomatic, doesn't give a straight answer. And I personally believe, and it's my opinion, he's been trained, and he has been trained like a politician. You cannot fathom that some of the answers that he's giving, he's coming across as very diplomatic. So the idea with HTS is, because Syria is a very ethnic-based country where a lot of Christians live there. They are scared. A lot of Shiites. That's a big, division within Islam. A lot of people that practice Shia Islam. So they also live there. And remember, Bashar al-Assad, he was an Alawi Shia. And then we have a lot of Sunni Islam. So these are the different divisions or denominations within Islam. There are definitely some differences in terms of the approach. So we'll take some calls later on. Now is not the time to call me, because we will take those calls later on in the program, and we will share the number. I will share the number. So very important factor that we will discuss in today's program as well, which no one wants to discuss, no one wants to cover it, but this is important for us. Otherwise, we are doing injustice to ourselves. And it's also important for our children and grandchildren, so they don't get confused with all these different, I would say, divisions within Islam, and how these terrorist organizations, they use the name Islam, nothing to do with Islam, but they say it's Islam. So unfortunately, this is what we are seeing, Salafi jihadists. And now they have taken over Syria. The other one is important news domestically. We always talk about debt ceiling, and we still have this debate. Thank God that the Senate voted. But just to give you an idea, what is debt ceiling? First of all, there is 14th Amendment within the U.S. Constitution. The 14th Amendment talks about very clearly in terms of the public debt of the United States shall not be questioned, quote unquote. And it has the Bill of Rights to former slaves in it, and then even birthright citizenship. So 14th Amendment will be something that we will hear a lot in 2025 after January 20th, once President-elect Trump takes office, because he also said very openly that he will end birthright citizenship. That's also 14th Amendment, and that will go to the courts and obviously to the Supreme Court of the United States. They will have to decide to end the birthright citizenship, and for who and for whom. And there are some debates on that especially people who are visiting the United States on a visit visa, or they just come here on a business visa. And some people, they just come to this great country just to give birth. So, so their children obviously would become American because that's the dream. And they take advantage of it. Some people, they even are politicians, they send their families. Even people who could give birth in our airspace in the United States, they become American citizens. So that's the debate which will happen. Now, with the same debate of 14th Amendment, this public debt debate will also take its shape in terms of the debt ceiling. Because just to level set expectations and just to help each other understand, the US Treasury, that basically takes any kind of loan to pay different types of government debt like Social Security or Medicare, Medicaid, some of the big heavyweight items, in order to give those entitlements and give those payments back to the different organizations like Social Security, to pay Social Security back to Americans, those obviously who have paid into the system for so many years, they deserve it, right? And then Medicare, big expense in terms of healthcare and Medicaid, and then Part A, B, C, D, but only Part A and B is covered. So a lot of people, they have to take Part C. So I'm going into more specificities, but that's the idea. So how do they pay all these programs? They pay it through by borrowing more money, and the US Treasury, they borrow money from US Federal Reserve. So US Federal Reserve, that's where whenever there is they reach that debt ceiling, according to the 14th Amendment, the US Congress, they have to increase the ceiling. So they keep on increasing it. Some people say that let's just abolish debt ceiling, but it's also important because that brings the debate back, that let's make sure that are we spending our money wisely. And that's a big statement, right? Because we know Washington, D.C. Republicans or Washington, D.C. Democrats, they do not resonate with us. Very few of them may. And many of them, they don't. And they do not resonate with everyday Americans. That's why we have this political mess right now with Washington, D.C. establishment, as well as those who are new to politics. And there is also debate on putting term limits on congressmen, congresswomen, even on senators, because once they get elected, that means that they will just retire. So we need to bring in new people and people who have good ideas, what have you. So these issues with regards to debt management and debt ceiling, they get settled, or we manage our budgets and we also balance the budget. So that's what 14th Amendment is, that whenever we reach that debt ceiling, they increase it, and then they increase it to that number, and then next year or in 2 years, what have you, you still find out, oh, there will be government shutdown. So good news is there's no government shutdown, but government shutdown means all national parks will be shut down. Federal employees, they may not get paid, or there is sometimes some buffer they keep in the budget. So maybe for 1 or 2 months they get paid. But what about contractors? So there's a lot of impact. So that's basically what debt ceiling and debt debate is. And the US Treasury, they borrow money from US Federal Reserve. And US Federal Reserve is also the one who sets the interest rates. As you know, they just reduced another 25 basis points. So we'll discuss it more, but that's the key information that I'm sharing with you. Share this with your friends, family, and those who may want to know within 2 or 3 minutes what these terms are and how an average day, an everyday, an average American who is not paying too much attention into these topics can help understand. So with that, I'm signing off from social media. We'll continue here with the traditional media, and happy holidays. And thank you for joining in on social media with Zishan on air on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe my YouTube channel as well, Zishan on air. Thank you.